Happy Friday to you. We made it another week. Boy, did this week go by quickly. Quickly. I don't know if I'll be able to be on here with y'all next week, so I have to go back to work next week. So I won't be back here with y'all taking my day doing all of this with you all. But it's all been good. I'll be here, but I won't be here early in the morning times or anything like that. So this will be my last week to be with you all early in the morning, sharing what's going on in our world today and the news and topics or whatever on the KC McDaniel channel. This morning, I wanted to just share with you before I get into anything. Let me go into the word of prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou you are our kingdom and our power and our glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, this morning I wanted to share with you some conversation about this Poland president. He is too hilarious. And I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? He tried to stop things before it even get through the door. Okay? This is what I like about this Poland president. Even though I don't look to live in Poland no time soon or ever go visit Poland or anything of that nature, because I love America. Okay, I'm an American citizen. I've been born and raised here all my life. I lived here. So I don't see no other place greater than where I am right now in the world. So, growing up in New York all my life, basically, I didn't leave New York until I was like 42 years old. So I spent majority of my life in New York. Yeah, I visit other states, other cities, whatever. But New York is my home city. New York is where I was born. It's my birthplace. And I spent most of my adult years, most of my life in New York. I left New York, like I said, when I was 42 years of age. And that wasn't too long ago. Okay, so New York is sort of kind of still in me. And it will always be in me. I will still carry some of those New York, something about my character in of New York, no matter where I go. So, growing up in New York, I've been exposed to a lot of culture, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people from all different places of the world. Most of my career, in my career of finance, I worked in mostly foreign companies. I worked with French, I worked with Japanese, I worked with the Pakistani community. Okay, so I had sort of like a broader experience than in my life, and I know what it's like being around people with different backgrounds, different culture, and whatever they come with from their own country. Getting on the subways with them, just going in food places with them, going in places that serve bagels and foods of that nature because we know who they make bagels. And then I noticed that. I say, wait a minute. The best, I don't care what everybody said, the best bagel shops that I had in New York come from the Jewish community. They make the best bagels, okay? The best bagels. Because I've been exposed to that. The best pizza. And I'm not being stereotypical and I'm not trying to, like say everybody that's Italian made good pizza. But when I was growing up as a kid, most of the Italian pizzerias that was owned by Italians were good. Okay, they were the best. As they got people to try to open up pizza shops like Mexicans or Puerto Rican, whatever they are, that's not your type of food. So it kind of like didn't taste as good as it did when I got pizza from the Italian, straight up Italians making pizza. The best bagels were made by, to me, were made by the Jewish community. So I was exposed to that. But when other people try to copy other people's identity and other people's culture and everything, it just don't. It's just not the same, you know. And that's what I noticed in New York that has started happening. It just wasn't the same. I grew up around the Italians most of my life, living in New York, in Brooklyn. Those were our neighbors, okay? The Italians. Then, as I lived up in the Bronx as a child, growing up in the Bronx, it was dominantly Puerto Ricans that and Cubans that lived in the Bronx. So when I start living around these other groups of new immigrants that came from different places of our world as New York started to change, it started to feel a little different. I wasn't getting the same feeling of that kind of respect, because one thing I noticed that when we grew up, in my time coming up with the Italians, the Irish in in the Bronx and in places like in Brooklyn and New York, totally different kind of friendship we had. We had so much more that we seem to have liked about each other and not like about each other. One thing we all had in common is we all had in common that we were Christians. Catholics, Christians, and the Jews. We all seem to have had something on common ground. But when you start bringing people into your space and into your culture, that comes with a totally different way of life with religion. And I'm talking about like they don't accept the belief of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because at least the Catholics, they accept Christ, but they on a different level with Christ, you know, with the Mother Mary and the saints and all of that. Where we, as the black church, we go through the whole entire Bible. We do the Old and the New Testament in the Bible. And as for the Jews, they all believe in mostly the Old Testament in the Torah. Okay, the Jews, they more still waiting for the Messiah. But one thing we do all have in common is that the Jews, at least, they do the Old Testament. They believe in the fall of Abraham, Jacob, Isaac, and Jacob. But Christ didn't come yet for them. That's one thing they didn't have in common. So this is what I'm saying: cultural differences and religion. But when people start trying to bring a religion that with a strange God, because we know the reason why the Jews and the Christians sort of kind of like more get along, and so the Catholics does too. But this Muslim stuff, it's a totally different a belief in religion. And this Buddha and all these other crazy, strange gods, you know, that is to us a strange God. At least with the Jews and with the Catholics, we can, you know, find something on common ground with them. But the Muslims, they got a totally different God that they believe in. And they come with a totally different kind of religion and beliefs. It's just crazy. So this right here for me, this man right here, this Poland president, he's being honest and he's being truthful about what is accepted in his borders and then people coming into his country and what is not accepted. And why he's saying this, they calling him a racist, and it has nothing to do with race. To me, it has really, truly nothing to do with the color of someone's skin. It's the content of the character that he doesn't like and he doesn't want to have any trouble with. And he has every right to feel that way. He has every right to feel the way that he feels about people coming into his country with their strange culture, and their strange religious beliefs. So let's listen to the video.
Dominic Tashinsky is a Polish politician and member of the European Parliament. But listen to what he said here.
How many refugees has Poland taken?
Zero.
And you're proud of that?
If you're asking me, if you're asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked
This
not
quota
about
system
illegal
failed.
immigrants, I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why our government was elected. But this is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland, and we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
Ms. Lockbeal, I mean,
The lowest unemployment in European Union is Poland. The highest GDP after COVID in European Union is Poland. One of the lowest debts in European Union is Poland. So don't give us this rubbish about the need of educated immigration, as we heard yesterday. We don't need your doctors. We don't need your engineers. Take them all and pay for them. We don't need them. You know why? Because there's a zero terrorist attacks in Poland. Why? Because there is no illegal migration in Poland. So don't give me this look. Don't give me these arguments about the populism, because this is a fact. This is your data from Eurostat. So we don't need your engineers. We don't need your doctors. Take them. Do not teach us. Do not teach us about democracy, because we know what the democracy is. So learn from Poland. Be like Poland. Thank you very much.
The man
Okay, let's see what he's saying.
said, I care about my country and I care about my family. I mean, he's not wrong for saying that. Here in the US, we have American citizens losing their lives because of horrible, stupid immigration policies, as you can see in these reports. You let me know what you think about it. God bless you. Catch you on the... Yeah, Canadian.
That's true. You know what I'm saying? We bringing in all these different people with all these different religions and cultural beliefs and everything else like that. It's just making you know, America. We wouldn't have the problem we having with ICE if we, like, President Trump did the right thing. Close that damn border. Okay? We don't want no more troublemakers in our country. We don't want people coming in here thinking they can run in the government and push on us these socialism, communism ideologies and teach this to our children in the school. Dismantle the whole shit. Okay? Because of the simple fact that all it does is bring a lot of problems in our world. We want peace. And the only way you're going to keep that peace is you got to keep this nonsense, this noise outside of your borders. These people don't even want to go home, and look at what ICE got to go through each and every day going into these sanctuary cities, not only in these sanctuary cities, but in all these other places in our country to get these people out. And the kind of money it's going to cost us to pay for all of this, because these people got to work overtime to get these illegals out of America. That some foolish person, some idiot, while Biden tried to hide up Biden's sickness, that he was cognitively declining and he wasn't able to really make decisions really that well on his own. And they took advantage of that. They saw this man suffering at that point, and they took advantage of him. We didn't even have a president. We don't know how long it's been like that, but we just didn't understand why We were getting all these people flooding our borders, coming into the United States, living in these cities, and the thing is that being that New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles such big cities, it's very hard to find all these people. And this money was going to them, housing them, giving them Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, and then they were reproducing, making more kids, kids that they even brought over the border that wasn't even their kids, trafficking, human trafficking, and all kind of other things that was going on, drugs, fentanyl. So before it even happens, this president right here said, keep them there with you and take care of them. Because we're not opening our borders for them. I don't care what you call us. Call me a racist. We don't have no terrorism over here. So far, we have zero terrorist attacks in our country. Then on top of that, our education is doing very well. Educating our people are doing very well. Educating them. Employment is doing very well here. We don't need that. We don't need it. And I don't blame him for feeling that way. You got all these crazy terrorists, crazy Muslims. Like I said, we don't have a problem with our Jews. We don't have a problem with our Catholics coming into the United States of America because they got something in common with us as Christians over here. Okay? Except for some of them don't. The Jews, of course, like we said, they into the Old Testament. They read the Torah, and it's in the Old Testament. The Catholics, they're in the New Testament. They don't even do the Old Testament, but they do the New Testament, but they more on the Madonna and the saints and all that other stuff. And the baby Jesus. But we, as Christians, accept Christ, and we go through the whole entire Bible. We go from the old to the new, from the new back to the old. Okay? We believe in the Holy Bible. Okay? Holiness. So the only difference between us is that. But other than that, when it comes to keeping peace here on earth, we don't have those problems with our Jews. We don't have those problems with our Catholics. That's why when we go through the immigration and who we do allow into this country, those are the things that we mainly look at of people's religious backgrounds. Some religions is just should not be accepted here. When it comes to celebrating our holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all of that, we don't have a problem with Jews not celebrating them because most of my life going to school in New York, I had Jewish teachers. And when Christmas time came, we learned about the season of Hanukkah. And when school was closed, we learned about Yom Kippur and all that other stuff. So it wasn't a problem to us because it all kind of like, somewhere in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? These religions were actually in the Bible. So we didn't have a problem with celebrating those holidays or having those days of school, or so that the people that were in the Jewish faith were able to celebrate the holiday. We can't celebrate all these crazy holidays. And our kids are missing out of school and everything. I don't know nothing about Ramadan. Okay? That was never taught to me when I was coming up in school. And believe it or not, when I was coming up in New York, most of the kids that were from the faith of the Islam faith, of Islamic or whatever, they had their own schools. They didn't even go to school with us. All the kids, most of the kids that I remember when I was coming up in the elementary school system in New York in the late 70s and the 80s, most kids that were Islamic or from the Nation of Islam did not even go to public school with Christian children. They went to their own schools. They went to their own schools. They did not go to the same schools with us. So I knew nothing about no Ramadan. All of a sudden now we celebrating Ramadan. We are incorporating that into our educational system. No. Only thing I could remember celebrating when I was coming up on during the holidays, especially during Christmas, was Hanukkah and Christmas. None of that other stuff. And we celebrated President Day. We had now we still celebrate President Day. It was a federal holiday. Everything, schools were closed. Everything was closed. Business and everything was closed on federal holidays like President's Day, Lincoln and Washington's birthday. And if anybody have a problem with it, then that's on them. We celebrated that. So people could go somewhere with all of that other stuff. And this president of Poland, I agree. Let's go into the comment section about what he said here, because a lot of people don't want to listen to it. A lot of people are against it.
The lowest unemployment in European Union.
Let's go into the comment sections. Let's see what some people say. This is how a representative of his country should speak. Great stuff, Poland. I love Poland and the people. Proper patriots. And I've worked with many of them. Big up Poland and their stance on immigration. I'd have worked with a handful of Polish lads here in Scotland. Great guys, very friendly and hardworking. The Polish are a good bunch. Poland is setting an example on what common sense can accomplish. Applause from Canada. See, a lot of people that are from their own countries agree with this man. You know what I'm saying? Let these people go to their own places where they're accepted in their religious beliefs and everything. They can go in they Arab countries, they can go to they Arab other countries in the world. And I don't know how many Arab countries there is, like Muslim countries there is, that they can go and feel accepted there. And it won't have to be no war. It won't have to be no bitch and no this and that fighting and people lives being terrorist attacked and all that other stuff. Go places where you feel you accepted because y'all share the same religious beliefs. Why force your interest into a place where they don't want you there? You know, why force yourself into a place where they don't want you there? If I'm going to travel a city and I want to go and visit countries and everything, I'm going to go somewhere where I know that people have the same religious beliefs as I do, so I don't have to have no problems when it comes to somebody making me want to dress a certain way to accept their culture or to accept their religion. Going to Dubai, I'm not going having some male or escort around me and all that other stuff, and I can't be freely, and I have to wear all of this wrapped up stuff all over me, and I ain't even no damn Muslim. Freak out of here. You know, freak out of here. That's why I don't believe in going in them countries. I got family members that go visit them places, and I be like, y'all better be hope y'all come back. You don't know if people could be stealing your ID, your identification, take you somewhere and kidnap you. Just so that they can steal your identification and come back to the United and sneak into the United States. I don't trust them places. Well, anyway, y'all, I just wanted to just share that with y'all this morning. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. I will appreciate it if you could just hit that like button. You know, just hit that like button, y'all. Just hit that like button. You know, just be careful where you go in the world. You know, people don't want you there as they friends. Don't force your interest. These people don't even want to go home. These people don't even, like, for instance, these people snuck in our borders, and we got these stupid people that's sitting in Congress, that's sitting in our government and fighting for these people to come in our country illegally. Not only just be here illegally, but just to be here as criminals. Criminals. It's crazy. And look at what America got to go through today. Look at this. Just for being kind and nice enough to open our borders to strangers. And then offering some of them to leave the United States and go back home, and even offer them to pay to send them home, they still won't go home. It's just like you running away from your mother and your father. You know what I'm saying? Your parents, you don't want to follow rules at home, so you want to go get your way somewhere else, and you want to give this sad story to somebody that your parents have not been good to you, and you just feel like some entitled brat. You know what I'm saying? That you go and you run away from your parents, and you telling people lies on your parents, and you just because your parents want you to listen to the rules. So when you leave your parents' house, you go to somebody else's house and you saying all these bad things, and people are just sitting here falling for these sad stories that you telling them, these lies that you saying about them, right? And then when you find out the truth, when they go and they question things and they ask your parent says, "Look, I told my child no coming in my house at such and such a time, and when they did that, I punished my child. They got mad at me, so they ran away from home, and they're going to go out there and tell a whole bunch of lies about what I did to them." That's how I feel about these people that don't want to go back to their country. They liars. They want entitlement. They want to break rules. They don't want to follow rules. They don't like laws, and they just want to be rebellious. That's the way I feel about them. And if they want to feel rebellious against their own country, what makes you think they will be good for to be an American citizen? Instead of going back and doing the things the right way to enter into our country. But instead, they rather stay here and fight not to go back and burn flags and try to overturn the government and rebel against our government or whatever. That make it make sense to me. It's just like children manipulate things with their parents when they don't want to follow rules and break the rules. Instead of doing the right thing of listening to their parents' instructions that are given, and when they get old enough to make their own decisions, they can move out of their parents' house and live in their own place and go live in their own community or find their own friends and live with a roommate or whoever. Until right now, you under the instructions of your parents. And that's what the Bible teaches. Then you go under your own rules and you follow rules in the world. Well, you got to learn from home first. When your parents tell you to be in your curfew of being in the house at 10 o'clock, you be in that house at 10 o'clock. And that's the way I feel that this man from Poland is saying about letting these people in. I don't want you coming here corrupting my young people in this country. We don't want that. You keep your doctors and your whatevers and engineers over there and take care of them, and let us take care of our people over here. Let's educate them over here. Let's teach them the things here, because this is what we want to mold and shape for our leaders in society, for our world. Leaders. We don't want people coming in here corrupting our children. And that's the same way America should feel about its government. It should feel about its people here in the United States of America. We don't want these people coming here messing with our kids, indoctrinating our children. I had a teacher in high school in my American History 2 classroom, my American History 2 teacher. He was teaching communism to us. Okay? He was a German Jewish teacher. And he used to have his hair cut like sort of like Hitler. We new to the world. We young. We high school kids, but still in all, we learning. We easy to be, you can say, we more easy to be influenced, right? And I never forget by him teaching that American History 2 class. By the end of the school year, we didn't have him no more. And we questioned. We was like, well, what happened to so and so teacher? What happened to our teacher so and so? You know, we were all cool with him. And they said he will no longer be your instructor of this class. He was my homeroom teacher too. And then we had got some other guy that had to come in as a substitute. And we always wondered what happened. We didn't see him at our graduation and everything else like that. And come to find out, he was fired for teaching communism. He was actually fired for teaching communism. And I'm going back in the 80s because I graduated from high school in 1985. So we going back in the 80s. They was not having it. They was like, oh, hell no. He up here teaching these kids, indoctrinating these damn children with communism. You know? And yes, he was. They got his ass up on out of there because of the things that was indoctrinating the children. And that's why I don't have a problem with President Trump talking about like school choice and also dismantling the education board of education because of some things that are getting out here being taught to your children. These this weirdo stuff like genders and pronouns and all of that. Yeah, it's time to get that shit out of the school. Everybody don't want their kids learning about no two mommies, no two daddies, and sex changes. And come on, when we were coming up, we wasn't taught that weird shit. And like I said, that teacher that was trying to bring that communist shit up in the classroom, they got his ass up on out of there. And I'm going back in high school. I'm going back when I was in high school in 1985. So I know what I'm talking about. Good morning, those of you who are in the chat. I cannot see who you are right now, but I appreciate you coming in. But I'm just saying, just like this guy, Kwame Mandani, that's in New York that was elected. Is that legal? Is that legal in the United States of America for anybody running as a in local government that they can actually be elected and they not really citizens of the United States of America and then they up here teaching socialism? Is that legal? And you know what? This is how stupid Gen Z is. They don't know these things because ain't nobody teaching them shit in school. They don't know nothing about socialism, communism, and capitalism. They just a bunch of entitled brats. And I don't even think some of them even know they ABCs. I swear to, I swear to, what a dumb generation that America is raising against the world. They're not teaching them nothing but to be entitled and to be lazy, and that's it. They don't do too much research or studying. They just go on being influenced by somebody that is here acting like a rapper. That's a totally mock and disrespect to, especially to the culture of foundational black Americans, to be mocking us and to be playing these little stupid rap. And they get influenced by that. You know, somebody that could talk really good and somebody that's goofy and that could sit around and make fun of you and make fun of doing rapping and everything. That's not the rap. The original history behind rap is a cultural thing. It's something that was coming from the urban life of black people. It was our story and some of the things to bring awareness about and consciousness. Rap was not made for those people to make it a mockery. These are people expressing their everyday life. And our young generation, that's how stupid they are, that they be influenced by this type of foolishness. For this type of person to find his way into our government. While you playing, they using this kind of tactic to destroy you. Just like I don't go with gangster rap. I don't do it. I don't listen to it. It doesn't get played here in my home. And even if the young people in my family play it in their car, I don't even get in their car because it's a death trap. But the rap music that I'm used to listening to was those young people that was growing up in the urban life that was making sense with what they were rapping about. They were teaching, and the words they taught were powerful. So I don't get what this rap. You notice that most rappers today that's out there in those streets doing the rapping that they do, guess what? They either end up in an early grave or it could become gang violence. Okay? Gang violence. I don't listen to that kind of rap music. You can't play that. I don't. People be trying to sell it that loud music and it just drowns out the words and you can't hear what they saying. I don't listen to that nonsense. Now, if you want to go back to the old school rappers, like those people like Queen Latifah and MC Light, and they empowering women, empowering young people or whatever like that. And you want to go back to KRS when it was militant, but it was telling their story, and you can hear their story. But I don't listen to gangster rap at all because that's gangster rap. Look at Biggie's music. May it sound good to as much as people out there. I know some of y'all Biggie fans and Tupac fans or whatever. But look what happened to their lives from singing those kind of lyrics and those kind of words, sending words of violence, disrespect to women, and everything. And guess where they at? They're dead. They spoke death into their life. Whether you want to hear it or not, and it's the truth. Get ready to die. Machine gun funk. All of these lyrics, even though Tupac's was a little bit more consciousness in his music, but Biggie music was definitely gangsta. And it was basically about get ready to die, machine gun funk. Listen to the lyrics of that song. Listen to the title of that. Just see the title of the album speaks violence. Get ready to die. It didn't say, let's live, let's bring world peace. No, get ready to die. And it says, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So you got to be careful about the message you send into the universe. So everything I just spoke on today, this morning, not today, because the day ain't over yet. This ain't the end of it. I hope not. I pray not. But I just wanted to share with this Poland patriot message is sending out to the people that want to come to Poland. Not saying Poland can't be our friends, because Poland is trying to keep their Poland culture in their country safe. We not bringing all of this craziness over the borders. We ain't bringing this into our minds of our young adults or children in school or whatever. Now, when they become older and they want to get out there in the world and they want to see it for themselves, then they can do that. But right now, we got to block all of that from coming in. And that's exactly what we need to do in America. Block that from coming in. So, with that being said, you all have a blessed and wonderful Friday. And if God's willing, I may be back with you all later.